like it in Norway.
I should introduce you guys, and I'll have I'll do my Norwegian accent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please introduce Juliana with your Norwegian accent. Have you been practicing with it?
I'm here today with Juliana.
That's actually really good. Yes?
I've never heard you say that.
Go ahead.
Greetings. I'm here today with Juliana Korver and Sune Wentzel, two champions of the disc sports.
And what about yourself then? Oh, should you maybe introduce Rick?
No.
With your Dutch accent?
No. Definitely not.
Well, first of all, very nice to have you here. You chose Norway as your secret hideout to practice without anybody spying on you before
Yes.
heading for the World Championship, the World Overall Championship,
Correct.
happening next week. Played now 18 holes on Stoner disc golf course in traditional Norwegian weather.
Right.
A little sun, a little chilly, a little rain. How do you find it?
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. As I mentioned earlier, I really liked the way that the terrain was utilized.
Yeah.
So baskets on slopes
Yeah.
and playing on the side of a slope.
Yeah.
Don't get to see that as much as I think we should see it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they've done a good design on that course, really using the terrain, because it's not that much vegetation, but there are some small hills, bumps, trying to make it a unique course.
Yeah, it definitely was.
When it was made the first years, people thought that the pin placements was crazy. It was impossible. You shouldn't have a drop behind a basket. We didn't care about it, so and then we invited the Swedes, of course, and we practiced a lot on the course, trying to beat them on it. They're good golfers, so they won most of the times, but once in a while, that's why.
I like the hole that went under the bridge and had the double mandatory that you had to go to the right and then go back to the left across the path over the gully.
Yeah.
That was a great hole, I thought.
I thought the numbers, I'm not sure if I get the numbers right, 17 and 18 were both really good. Very short compared to the rest of the course, but those were both very interesting holes.
Yeah. It adds something to the rest of the course. I like that double mando you talked about as well. People either go for it, and you gamble with your angles. Some is trying to flip it, make it kind of a cut roll, and continue straight. And I think the hole is 200 meters in total, maybe even a little bit more.
I think it's more, but I mean, I don't really know. I wasn't going very far today, but I did throw through that bridge mandatory pretty well and got about 10 or 15 meters past it.
Yeah, because you're forced also. You can't go the shortest direction. You're kind of forced offline. So, yeah, and 18 as well is one of my favorites. See a lot of crazy numbers there.
That was a really cool hole. I like that a lot. It didn't look as small. The landing area didn't look as small as it actually is from the tee, but with the embankment, you can throw hard into the base of the
You can, with your accuracy, you can.
If I'm on.
So, Rick,
Yes.
my old partner.
And future partner, don't forget.
And future partner, because we have something unfinished.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an. Do you call yourself? I mean, from my point of view, you're kind of a typical oral player. First time I met you in '91, you can do all events. You can do well in all events.
Freestyle was traditionally my weakest. Although I used to practice with some of the best players in the world, I never was good at getting partners. I didn't care enough to get partners ahead of time. So I think had I cared more about freestyle, I would have won more overall championships. But that aside, I now have what I feel like is a renaissance in my attitude toward freestyle. And Juliana and I have been playing a lot the last couple months, and we're both excited about it. And it's great to be getting better at it again after really sort of playing it begrudgingly for the last 2 decades or so. I just didn't. The only time I've played freestyle since 1990 was pretty much when I had to play it in a tournament, and then I never practiced in between.
Yeah.
So now I'm actually enjoying it to the point where I'm looking forward to not even having to compete in freestyle at all, just playing because, for the joy of it.
But you're also, I mean, the first time I met you was back in '91.
So it must have been Santa Cruz?
It was actually Santa Cruz.
Oh, it was after the Colorado tournament.
Yeah, there was kind of a warm-up tournament in
Right.
Up in Fort Collins, and then Santa Cruz afterwards.
Right.
He taught us a lot of DDC then. And enough, so you wanted to play with me afterwards. But it took a lot of years before we could team up.
Yes, it did. It took too long, I think. I mean, I would have liked to have played sooner, but the Scandinavians, you guys, you marry each other. You find one partner when you're 19, and then you play with them until you're dead.
Yeah.
And so one of you has to quit before the other one can, get a 1-year lease to play with another partner.
That's right.
So, yeah. So I think we definitely, as you said, we have some unfinished business, and we have to finish that business.
Yeah, I have to start getting in shape then. You still look like you're in very good shape.
I feel like I'm in decent shape. I had knee surgery 9 or 10 weeks ago, but so I've been coming back. But I'm feeling pretty good. Juliana and I have been training pretty hard, and you'd be surprised how good a shape you can get in playing freestyle. You play for an hour or two at a time, and
Cool.
burn off some extra weight. Yeah.
And Juliana, now you're confusing me. Because it says world champion 5 times on a golf disc. Are you a golfer or are you an oral player?
I don't consider myself a golfer anymore.
No?
I don't. I have played 3 tournaments this year.
Okay.
Which is a lot.
All right.
Over the span of the last maybe 10 to 12 years, I've averaged 1 event a year.
Yeah.
And usually it was because I felt obligated to play, not because I wanted to play.
Okay.
I pretty much stopped playing a dozen years ago. Too much of a good thing. Just
But you still play disc sports then?
Well, I love competition, I love physical activity, love throwing a frisbee, and I went to a DDC tournament almost 2 years ago, and in Phoenix. My dad lives in Phoenix. I went to visit him, and
Arizona State?
And I thought,
nice.
I thought that I sent an email to Harvey Brandt, who runs the event, and asked if it was okay if somebody who doesn't even know the rules could come out and try and play. And he's sure, come on. Anybody who's in DDC wants other people to learn how to play DDC. So it was a very inviting environment, and met this guy, and he tried to convince me.
Don't forget that you asked Harvey if I was going to be there.
Oh,
Okay.
you did? Oh, so there was a flirt going on there.
No, the complete opposite.
The opposite.
I met him.
Oh, the opposite.
I met him 10 years prior. So
Okay.
when I was still touring, playing disc golf, when I was just a disc golfer, I went to an overall event, had never seen the other disciplines, but tried them anyway, just for the first time. And so at that time, I played DDC with another golfer, and neither he or I could throw the discs worth a darn. Didn't know the rules, didn't know anything about it. Got paired up with, I don't know who you were playing with.
Tony Pelican.
Another very good player.
Yeah.
And didn't feel like we were supposed to be there. Felt like we were wasting their time, and they were disgusted that they got to play with us, and
I have no recollection of this, by the way.
Well, that's actually a very good story.
I was totally intimidated. I thought he was a jerk.
Not the first person to think that.
And I thought that if he was going to be at this Arizona tournament, I didn't want to go because I didn't want to experience the same "you shouldn't be here" attitude.
Yeah.
And and so I asked Harvey that question, and I think Harvey read between the lines. I didn't say your name, but I think he knew exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's okay.
Yeah.
You'll be fine."
So then she expressed during or maybe right as the tournament was ending, she expressed interest in learning to play the overall and training for it.
Well, I think the fact that I'm no longer golfing, but yet part of it is I like to learn new things. I like to see the progress, and well, there was a lot of potential for progress in DDC, and
especially in DDC, but in the other events as well.
Well,
she barely knew how to do them at all.
Yeah, and conceptually, I just really liked the idea of staying in disc sports, but just a little bit of a different avenue. I happen to be very, very introverted.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily enjoy the spotlight.
We'll make it harder.
It's true, though. It's true.
And it's hard for me to golf without being seen.
Yeah.
And this was a way for me to continue in learning, in throwing a frisbee, and maybe backing up a little bit and not being on the stage.
Because it's very hard. I mean, it's totally different discs. You have to think in a different way. I think that golfers should play more overall events.
Oh, they would be so much better. They would be so much better if they did.
Yeah, you think so?
Absolutely, I do.
I've always said that. Throw lighter discs, get used to the Z's, think wind, angles.
It would help immensely. I mean, obviously, the top players, they can't get. It seems as if they can't get much better than they are. But there are so many situations where knowledge of a frisbee versus a golf disc is beneficial. Yeah.
And plus, I really think that you increase the amount of fun that you have so much more when you play the other events they're not just more challenging. They're more dynamic. You know, when you're playing disc golf, a lot of times it's just a projectile that you're throwing.
Yeah.
You know, and when you play the other events, they're more susceptible to the conditions of the environment, the wind, that sort of thing. So.
Well, golf's so slow paced now
And
compared to.
yes, and yeah.
I get bored between the shots now.
Yeah, exactly. But you actually see also a lot of the top golfers is actually playing other events. Some of them is going to overall events as well.
I think you may see that more with the European players than you do with the American players. I think very few. I mean, I know Avery played in the overall that was here in Sweden, but last year's U.S. Open, there were a couple of specialists that did golf.
Right.
but they didn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe one tried to
They
do
might-
DDC.
I think one of them threw distance, actually.
Well, distance is a
Yeah.
obvious
Mhm.
crossover,
sense.
but
Yeah.
but to do all 7,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't know that Avery did all 7. I don't know that he did freestyle.
Yeah. I know Avery went to Santa Cruz one year for a one-day overall as well, played them all. So.
I wish that there were.
So now you actually change from being a golfer to an overall player.
I'm trying.
But you are considering yourself as an overall player now.
Yes.
So you know your front door, back door.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know what we're talking about then?
Yes.
Just checking.
Very definitely.
Exactly. Well, together with you, you have to learn it. He can be very strict, can't he? Just say yes.
Strict.
Oh, strict, okay.
Oh, I was
Strict.
just thinking about the story 10 years ago,
What?
and actually he was kind of strict back in '91 as well.
I
First
think-
time
I
I
think
met him, he's.
I think he's misunderstood.
I definitely think so too.
He's got a game face that sometimes is on while not playing.
Because he's
That's
definitely
good.
a very good partner. That's for sure. He's doing everything. When we played together and that was also in Santa Cruz.
Right.
Actually, many years afterwards. It was back in 2003.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I pulled a muscle. Very bad timing.
Very bad.
Was it before the semis? Or was it?
It was before, you were in freestyle at like 2 o'clock in the morning, the morning of the freestyle,
Yeah, that's right.
the semis for DDC.
Yeah.
So you had probably less than 7 hours between
Yeah.
when you injured yourself and you had to sleep and then show up for DDC.
But he did everything he could, and not only before at that point, but even before that, to stay in shape, eat some bananas, some other healthy stuff, and get something for your muscle to cool it down, and something for your
Oh, that's right, I had
and
some
heating
remnants.
cream,
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah, all the tricks in the book,
Yeah.
which was very good.
Mhm.
So really, as a partner. Overall. Your two finger then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're into DDC.
Yeah.
And then we were to freestyle.
Well, my current favorite is DDC,
Okay.
but I'm most excited about practicing freestyle right now.
Oh yeah? Mm.
But I'm still very, very green in freestyle, very new.
Yeah.
But I can imagine what I want to do.
Yeah. It takes a long time to handle the basics.
Yeah.
Clock or counter?
Clock.
Clock. I'm a clock player too.
Although I'm hoping that after this event that I can start trying to learn counter so that
Yeah.
I'm new with both of them instead of
Yeah.
being dependent on one of them.
What's your favorite catch?
My favorite catch, I guess the chair, but not a jumping chair, just a
Mhm.
spinning chair.
Yeah. I like the chair too.
Being a golfer, catching is not first nature.
That's right.
I'm still frustrated with my. I feel like I'm slow.
Mhm.
Slow to catch. So working with DDC has helped a lot.
Well, DDC and freestyle, there's a lot of catching involved, so
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
like you're definitely.
I think she's a great catcher in DDC, and she doesn't give herself enough credit.
Thanks a lot for visiting us in Norway. Love to show you around here,
Mm-hmm.
and
We're going to make a plan to come back without the. I mean, maybe there'll be a draw of a tournament, but we'll structure more unstructured time to come and hang out with you and just enjoy
have to.
Norway and go to the fjords and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Next time.
I think maybe the thing to do would have been to. I mean, now that we know better, the thing to do would have been to have some more time after the tournament where we didn't have to prepare for the tournament.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Yeah. We're gonna exhaust you a little bit here anyway, though, but
Mhm.
I think you'll do well there anyway.
Yeah. We were surprised to see how many people are coming in on Saturday, I guess, for a tournament that starts on Sunday from the U.S. that are flying in.
Okay.
We're thinking they're going to be fairly jet lagged.
They ain't gonna have a rough start, though.
Yeah.
At least you're adjusted yourself.
Yeah. So how many days in advance would you go to a tournament in the US to get adjusted?
A week. I mean, it's easier to go that way, actually. To go west, yes. I find it way easier. Most people do. So I didn't have any big problems with it.
Yeah.
But in general, I try to be there a week in front.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Santa Cruz next year. That'll be probably the last big overall tournament. The U.S. Open will be there.
Okay.
In July next year. During your birthday, I think, actually. Yeah. So.
Well, it takes a long time to get back in shape for me now.
Yep.
2003 was the last time.
Really?
I really.
Well, you're still young by my standards, so if I can get there.
Exactly. So I should just shut up.
We saw how far you threw on the golf course today with no warm up or anything, just walking out there and hucking it. So we're not going to feel sorry for you.
Well, I'll just. 2001 was my last overall tournament where I played all events, but maybe I'll just go over to play DDC with you.
It's okay to play DDC and freestyle with me.
Yeah, a freestyle as well.
That'd be a coup.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
That'd be awesome.
Hej, där sitter vi här med LeBeau, Juliana Korver på besök i Norge. Nu ska vi ut och tjäna.